Greetings. Salam alaikum. Shalom. Peace to my gods on earths. Chiat amor. Konnichiwa. Sakpase. Que pasa? What's up? Well, family, welcome to another edition of On TV. I'm your host, Malik Shabazz. I'm going to be following up on my last episode to try to get people to see this inversion and how this inversion works. And sometimes this inversion works where you have certain people, certain personalities like Oprah, which we were going to talk about, who has this cloak around her as being a good person, charitable, this and that. But she's none of that. She is none of that. She's a snake and she's a parasite. And this is a woman, which you're going to hear again, repeated, who's had a relationship with Harvey Weinstein, they say 20 years. And in those 20 years, you mean to tell me that she didn't know what he was doing and what he was all about? Really? No. You can believe that if you want to, but don't believe, that's on you. But anyway, let me put the camera on the thing. Okay. All right, there we go. My bad.
To drive my point, let's take her relationship with Harvey Weinstein, for example. Winfrey and Weinstein have had a professional relationship that stretches back 2 decades. There are many photographs of her kissing and hugging the mogul at awards ceremonies and events sponsored by the Weinstein Company. She has starred in and produced movies that his company distributed, including The Butler and The Great Debaters. For those who may not know, Harvey Weinstein is an American filmmaker who rose to become the face of an abuser for the #MeToo movement. Per the news, 5 years ago, the story that had long been whispered in the halls of agencies and studios, as well as on film and television sets, finally became public. A series of bombshell articles revealed that Harvey Weinstein harassed and assaulted dozens of women for decades and used his power to bully them into silence.
You see what I'm saying?
According to TMZ, Weinstein said Winfrey encouraged him to defend himself publicly, implying that the TV host might have actually been on Weinstein's side against so many women. However, her people said they never spoke directly, and she was only interested in talking to him for a TV interview.
Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Again, apologize for the moving the camera, but there you have it. Okay, and as a matter of fact, so there you have it. And now, let's see. Then we have, you know what? I should have even moved the camera. Again, I'm gonna have to move it one more time because I want to show you this report to follow up.
The destruction in Maui is heartbreaking, as the wildfires have become now the deadliest in 100 years. So why is Oprah Winfrey there trying to make it about herself? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. I have never hid my feelings on Oprah. I believe she is a snake. I'm going to talk about that here. But first, I do want to send out so much love and support to all the people suffering, surviving out in Maui. Guys, this story is so sad. Seeing the images come out, it is truly heartbreaking, and we're going to share some links at the end of this video, and I'm going to put them in the description so you guys can figure out ways to help the communities that are now suffering. And yes, I know Oprah has shown up trying to raise awareness for what's going on, but I'm sorry, I got to call it out because I don't believe this is done for the good. I believe this is done for the Oprah. Oprah decided...
So you read right there, Oprah Winfrey's CBS camera crew are refused entry into Lahaina wildfire shelter out of respect for survivors seeking safety. Okay, so let me switch back around real quick. Okay, so again, so now you see, she went over there with a film crew. One of the things I would think that she did that for, so she could toot her own horn, but maybe something a little bit deeper, because again, she's a parasite, So she went over there. Basically, I guess she's in the military they call her a scout. You go there, she's the scout. She went out there checking out everything, and probably reporting back to other parasites that are trying to convince these people to sell their property so they can leave. And she's one of them. Okay, and she's one of them. You see, so now again, this is the part, the inversion. That if we don't understand, we will never come to see these things, like come to understand what they really are, because you're thinking from a different reality, and it's pretty sad, but again, like I said, that's the world we live in, so there we go. That's the world we live in, so I gotta report it like I see it. So now I'm gonna switch gears, because this is kind of part of the same thing. Everything's connected. So I'm gonna switch gears to Dr. Boyce Watkins. I gotta tell you, I want to hold my tongue, because oh my God, sometimes he just turns my stomach. In his podcast, he's got a podcast, which I rarely go on. Sometimes I go just to dig up information, to hear what he's saying. I'll report back to the people how full of shit he is. And one of the things that he always mentioned, he goes, "This is an intelligent black show for black people, intelligent black people." Okay. So now, he's a capitalist, number one. So his whole thing is all screwed up. You know what I'm saying? His whole thought process is screwed up as a capitalist. Because, like I said, Malcolm said, show me a capitalist and I'll show you a bloodsucker. And everything, if you ever go on his podcast, it's the stock market down, or how do you invest in the stock market, and how do you invest in land? Like, fuck that. How the fuck do we get free? That's the question I want to know. How the fuck do we get free from all this shit? Not how to buy fucking houses and how to fucking invest in the goddamn Wall Street and the stock market. As far as I'm concerned, all that shit can get burned the fuck down. Because that's the fucking problem. So anyway, we got to be careful with cats like this, because they're confused. They basically confusing our people. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you exactly what in fact, I'm going to let him do the talking, and then I'm going to come back and discuss. Okay? Once again, my apologies for moving the camera. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go on the computer there on the internet and see if I can figure out how to move this stuff without having a... Alright, here we go.
So let me throw this on the screen. Now, these three black women are three women that are in the national media right now. They're in the national media because they're in the national media because they are the women that have sort of been on the headlines for holding Donald Trump accountable. They are the ones who are responsible for some of the indictments. There's also their brother up in New York. Can't remember his name. Y'all got to put his name in the chat for me so I can remember. And these three black women, I'm going to read a Black Enterprise article about these three black women, very smart women. Shout out, first off, let me just start off by saying shout out to all the intelligent black women out here. Shout out to all the educated black women. Black women are more educated than almost anybody else on the planet. They're starting businesses at a rapid rate. And in fact, I love these sharp black women.
Okay, I'm gonna just leave it right there, because he said what I wanted. He said what I want to talk about. He mentioned what I want to talk about. Okay, now talk about intelligent black women. Oh man, you know something? Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, intelligent black women. So now, first of all, let's recall Neely Fuller Jr., the most famous quote. And he says, if you do not understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think you know will only confuse you. Okay? So now, this brother Boyce Watkins, he's telling us that these women are brilliant black women, this and that, educated women, okay? But, number one, you think that this is their doing? That they're using black women? Like I said, you gotta understand racism and white supremacy. There's others behind them that are using them, their black faces, to go after Trump, okay? It's not genuine, This is just and just so everybody can be clear, I'm not defending Trump. I think he's a fascist, pig, parasite motherfucker. Okay? He is fucking nasty. He's just nasty. But anyway, so they're using these black women to be the face of trying to persecute a white man. Right? That's how we look at it. So now, this is what I mean about the inversion. Any woman or black man or black woman that occupies a high office like a district attorney or a judge, any to that caliber, are not there to do good. In fact, what was that? It was Kamala Harris. She was a DA in California, and what did she do with her power? She persecuted young black men. She even threatened parents with prison time if their children didn't go to school or caught playing hooky. Imagine that. You can actually put the parents in prison because their children are playing hooky. That's how wicked these people are. So don't tell me that this black woman, which I'm gonna show a little clip about with Glenn Greenwald, who reported on this, who she really is. Okay, these three black women, they nothing but freaking mouthpieces and pawns in the racist white supremacy game. Okay, and educated. When it says they're highly educated to do what? What good is education? You get all the education, and all you do is lock up brothers and sisters. What good is that? So fuck that kind of education. That is not education. That's education to uphold the system. So, on that note, let me point out to Glenn Greenwald's reporting. I'm going to get this started, and then I'm going to come back and talk about it a little bit more before signing off. Okay, here we go. Before signing off, let me just put the camera on the computer. Okay, here we go.
Along the way that I think are highly revealing. So there you see her. There's her obviously posed picture. She's standing in front of old wall books, looking into the distance, not to the camera. I don't know what that's intended to convey, but obviously she posed for her glamour shots. The Guardian's headline on this article is "The Fight for Democracy." That's what Fani Willis is doing. She's fighting for democracy by trying to imprison the most popular politician in the United States, or at least the most popular presidential candidate at the moment. And they have a threat from her, quote, "He's going to be very surprised. Georgia DA Fani Willis prepares to face off with Trump." Legal watchers say the Fulton County District Attorney's entire career has prepared her for the prosecution of Donald Trump. I bet it has.
See, she's already being pressed.
The article says, quote, "The synopsis, right, Fani Willis biopic," they're already imagining what the film is going to look like, celebrating this great woman's life. The synopsis for Fani Willis biopic would probably go something like this. In Fulton County, the first black woman to serve as district attorney takes on an unlikely case. Willis grew up attending court with her father, a defense attorney in Black Panther. Now, she sits on the opposite side of the courtroom, hoping to indict a former president who sought to overturn election results and often espoused white supremacist rhetoric while doing so. This is a news article. The film's montage would pull from real life, depicting a determined, unflappable Willis. Remember the headlines about Jack Smith's steely-eyed gaze? Willis has a determined, unflappable demeanor as she relentlessly pores over documents, leading her team through the long work hours and security risks that come with bringing an indictment against an often inflammatory former president, even as national attention on the case reached a groundswell. We'd watch her face racist threats and unsubstantiated rumors of misconduct, but she'd refuse to back down from the task at hand. How are they not so embarrassed to write this copy?
And that's
She'd advocate for what she believed.
And that's a good question. That's a good question. Now, for just in case, for any of those out there who's saying, "Damn, Malik Prophet, you taking the side of a white dude talking about a black woman," you goddamn right. Because you know why? It's not about black. I mean, it's about right and wrong. Okay. It's about right and wrong. Now, yes, see, the thing about it is that her mind, her brain has been broken with this. She lives in this inverted reality, and so her brain is broken. You know, so she's not really doing this because out of a genuine hatred. Excuse me, hatred for Trump, which she may have, but she's doing it because somebody behind her is pushing her, telling her, "Yo, you need to do this," and then they put her up there. So they write articles like this that Glenn Greenwald was reporting on. This woman, she ain't got no love for no black people, and she ain't got no love for no black children. You know what I'm saying? Because she's the district attorney of Georgia, and look what's going on in Georgia. Look at the police. What do they call that? That police, Cop City. You know, you think that if they already killed one young man, you know, and they threatened all the other activists. They even rolled up on a group of activists at their homes because their particular organization would raise money to bail out activists, and they got raided. Okay, and you think that she's gonna take the side of the activists? And if you think that, hey, listen. I got some bridge I want to sell you. This bridge goes from here to Japan, and it's mad cheap. Okay, if you want to buy it. So again, so we have to pay attention to these people, and expose them for who they really are. Because this is the thing, and I'll make this short. Why is this important? Why is understanding this inversion important? It's because when you first hear something, you waste time having to turn and look. It's like they make you look to it's like in war. Set the fire on in the west and attack from the east. Okay, it's the same concept. They make you look away, and then by the time you try to figure all this thing out, everything's pretty much already over. But if you with me, when I first hear something, especially a catalyzing event, the first thing I say is like, what really happened? And then I go into it. But most people don't really approach it that way, It's the same thing with like the COVID virus, which I'm going to be talking about in the next episode because there's another one coming, just in case you think that it was over with. Same thing with the COVID virus. When that first popped up on our screens and everybody was talking about it, the first thing that went to my mind is like, oh man, they created another disease, another virus, so they can kill people and move the empire in the direction that it wants to move. And at the beginning, a lot of people thought I was crazy. No, and actually, you weren't even allowed to say that on YouTube and all these other podcasts that had large viewerships. Not like mine. I get about like 8-9 views a month. I don't get nothing, But it's okay because universal knowledge is not based on mass appeal. All right, and that's a quote from Immortal Technique. So no, that's what the deal is, So again, and once you do that, and if you know that and you understand that inversion, you begin to do the research ASAP, and you can warn your people. A lot faster. So let me see if that's the last of it. Yeah. And then Oprah also, in fact, I'm not gonna move the camera, but yeah, she brings a film crew over there, and trying to, make it seem like she's so good and then she's helping the people. She's a grifter. She's a parasite. Okay, so we have to understand this inversion in order to be able to pick up on all these people and all these events initially. You don't want to have to, we don't want to have to wait 40 years, 50 years like they did with the JFK killing when they killed the president. Like 50 years later, people were talking about it at the beginning. Don't get it twisted, because there were a lot of people that weren't buying that official narrative, that official story. But it still took so long for it to really, really, really catch on, And I think that that the speed in which this happens actually has increased, because I remember 9/11. It wasn't too long after 9/11, that people really were questioning what was going on, and they're still trying to hide it. So again, if you believe the mainstream media in the inverted reality, you're going to believe everything they say, and when it comes out your mouth, even well-meaning people, they'll just, they just talk about nonsense, because the truth of the matter is this, the hardcore facts. This country, from the very beginning, has been a horror show, okay? Now, all these other people that are coming up now, see, this is a part of the inversion. They speaking of this horror show as if it just started since World War II, or after World War II, somewhere between that, whatever. No. And they ask the question naively, where did America go wrong? Well, where did America go wrong? America went wrong from day one. It began in 1619, the very minute they planted their dirty, diseased feet on Turtle Island. That's when all this started. And once you understand that and you approach this problem from that perspective, we could move this thing forward a lot faster. So, on that note, I'm gonna slide out, and I'm gonna come back for the next episode, and I'm going to be talking about the virus, and how it's coming back. It's nothing new. They've been doing this for a while. They've been experimenting on U.S. soldiers, on U.S. citizens for the longest, and a lot of people are not really aware of this. You know what I mean? They're not really, really aware of this. So this is the thing that we must be conscious of, and it's the only way we're going to get ourselves and our people out of this hellhole. And I will leave you with this, because if we measure how much we value life solely by the dread of dying, then it may be well that start again. If we measure how much we value life by our dread of dying, then it may well be that we have no sense of its value at all. Okay, so again, come out of the rabbit hole, come out of this inversion, and get to know the truth. So real quick, I just want to, once again, I want to keep promoting our upcoming event, Kwanzaa 365 Live, a journey with the griots through the power of storytelling, October 7th at 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. And we're located at the American Legion, Post 209, 806 Northwest 1st Street, Dania Beach, Florida, 33004. And you can check us out. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have great dialogue, great conversation, great, delicious dinner. And we're going to have a raffle giveaway with some great gifts. And we would love for you to join us and help us move this thing forward. So on that note, people, peace and love. And I'll see you for the next episode.